I had someone tell me about a year and a half ago. I was on a date actually, and she told me that the U.S. is more racist now than it's ever been, and I was kind of surprised by that because we used to have slavery and we used to be able to own people. So the fact that right now we're more racist than ever is just not a it's not a fact.
That's not a fact. No.
But that's the impression a lot of people have. But I do think that these things are going down, but there are still issues. With that being said, what would you say? You've given some examples of, I mean, when people say ching chong, like you said, and when people are making
That's
the eye
racist.
motions, you see it. I mean, I see it. I
That's
go, okay,
racist.
that's racism. And then there are some things where you talk about ignorance, and I think that's an interesting part for
Yes.
you to talk about. You mentioned before the show about the kids that came up to you recently in one of your gyms that you work in. For those
Yeah.
people who don't know, Andrew works with high school kids in athletic settings. So tell me about what you
Younger
consider
kids
ignorance
too.
versus racism.
Anything from 4-year-olds and up. So it's a wide variety. But yeah, I can think of when I think about ignorance versus sort of prejudice, and there's ignorance is basically you just don't know. I
Mhm.
can remember when I was in college and something happened on our campus and the Asian Student Association, like they used the word Oriental. And
Mm.
honestly, I had no idea that I was supposed to be offended by Oriental. So
Mm.
I did some research. I understood, started to learn the origins of that word and that this was definitely sort of an imperialistic European term. And I heard all that and I'm like, okay, yeah, I see it. I see it. But at the same time, if someone who was 75 or 80, comes up to me and uses the term Oriental, and I know this person generally has a good heart, I'm probably not going to hold that against them.
Hmm.
Count that up for ignorance.
Right.
I might want to tell them, hey, some Asians definitely find this word offensive. Here's why. So, someone who isn't like me might take offense to that. I think of kids who will come up to me, they don't know much Asian Americans, and they'll say, hey, do you know karate? Or hey, can you cook fried rice? I love fried rice. And this is, kids are curious. Kids are
Yeah.
curious, and they're not mocking me, but their curiosity gets the best of them because, hey, they might have all these, questions for Asian people. They're watching Cobra Kai, but they don't
Mhm.
have any outlet to ask these questions too. So, again, when I get those questions, I usually use it as an educational moment for them. I might tell them, honestly, I don't know martial arts, I don't know karate, but maybe we can take lessons together one day. Maybe we can both learn. And they're like, yeah, that
Yeah.
would be cool. So there's opportunity when we face ignorance to use that to educate,
Hmm.
and to not again, there has to be a place for grace in our society. I'm not going to get all bent over backwards out of that, but I will say, hey, let's learn from this and let's get to a better place.